Before we get this party started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors and friends, the Fillmore Denver and Live Nation Colorado. Without them, none of this would be possible. Just a heads up, this week we have Tribute Red playing at Fillmore on the Thursday, the 30th. Definitely a concert you need to check out. So if you need tickets, go over to livenation.com, score those today. But make sure you're following those guys on social media at LiveNationCO, at Fillmore Den, so you're up to date with all the concert announcements, ticket giveaways, swag bags, everything under the sun. And then, of course, obviously, if the audio sucks because that's our MO, but if you wouldn't mind, go over to iTunes, review Stoned Appetit, and go over to Podchaser, review Stoned Appetit, and we'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the episode, and again, sorry for the audio. Zane was out, so Kip had to handle it. Hit the music, let's party.
The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Blame Kip for that one. That was a swing and a miss on the opener. All right, we started about 5 minutes in. I'm going to knock this out of the park, sir.
I hope so.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetit with your hosts, as always, Kip, and to my right, Bama. How are you today, Bama?
I'm doing okay. We're sitting down here in our office. Seems pretty legit.
We are coming to you from, we'll call them the backup headquarters. We are not far from our studio, but our studio is in use today. So we're coming to you from a conference room in like downtown hell. But we're coming to you with some pretty cool guests. We got Miles Bailey and Braden Holt, the gentlemen from the On the House app, and the throwbacks may know the Indie card as well. Fellow Denverites that know the food scene, know the world around us, and we're pretty stoked to have y'all. It's gonna be like matching wits here today.
We appreciate y'all having us.
That's actually that was an insult because we're dumbasses.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Well, yeah. So we'd love to introduce y'all. Let's do one at a time so voices and names can kind of go parallel. Miles, thank you.
Right here, the other Miles.
Sorry, yeah, I'm never good at this.
You think I look like a Miles? I'm a nerd, man.
You're not a Chad, man. It's cool. I knew y'all were Chads.
Thank God your name's not Chad.
Wow.
That could just spiral down into
we
an
fuck
ever.
with Chad, Brads, and Deborahs a lot on the show. So,
Starting
all
hot.
right, Braden, Miles. Well, I guess we should lead with Braden here since they get the voice with the face. Braden, tell I guess our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Midwest kid. Kind of grew up all over the place. Went to college in Nebraska. Moved out here for business school. Thought I was going to be a finance dweeb, but got into the startup world actually after I met Miles and started programming, and now I'm here. Might make a lot less money, and but have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair sacrifice. Like I would take like probably a $10K pay cut to have more fun than what I'm doing right now. Not this, my actual day job. It really sucks.
10K
but
is not that much. I'm not that impressed by 10K.
Are you thinking like you took like 150,000?
Well, I mean,
sticking around with Miles on a regular basis?
Well, no,
That's
but
right.
I was still out of college, so it wasn't like that big of a sacrifice. But if we were to go like what I would be making now versus
if you were in the finance world or something,
Right.
yeah, of
It'd be a lot
course.
more than 10K.
Well, fuck, if I would have gone to med school, I'd be making a lot more money than I would be now. But that's neither here nor there.
That's a very good point. I'm pretty sure I was always on like a downward spiral, so there was no the what if projections don't really apply.
No chance.
Yeah. But look, y'all all made a lot of poor decisions that led y'all to this conversation here today. So onward and upward.
Yes.
All right. So and you're sitting. Okay, we have Braden on one side, Miles on the other. Miles, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a Southern boy. Don't have an accent like you do though. Went to school out west in Montana.
Oh, you got to talk into the mic.
My bad. Can you hear me better now?
Yep. There
All
we
right.
go. It's peaking.
All right. I'm Southern boy without the accent like you.
That sounds like Coach O right there. I don't know.
I mean, you.
I would love to have drinks with Coach O.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. But I went to school out west, University of Montana. Moved down to Denver in 2010. Was, in the industry, bartending, snowboarding every other day, just living the good life before I got, tied up in the startup world for the past 6-7 years now.
So that's a slow shift in responsibility from lifty to I'm going to start my own business.
It's pretty much exactly what happened.
I mean, there's a lot of discipline that takes in owning your own business and succeeding well. That's why mine's not doing this well, the discipline level. But that's a great gradual progress. You never had to do cube monkey life, huh?
I never did. I did one job interview for koala care, where you the baby changing stations and bathrooms.
I do.
Yeah, did an interview for that and didn't get the job, and I thank God every day for that.
Oh, imagine the whip.
How underqualified do you have to be to get a job with?
Yeah, right, exactly. Failed the math part. Damn.
That's tough. We aren't good with numbers here either.
Yeah, we're not readers either, so that left us only one industry or one parallel vertical to go in.
Talking.
Yeah, and drinking.
Yeah,
right. And smoking a little bit.
So how did you guys meet? Now that we kind of learned a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to say all the details of this one, but basically, I went to college in Montana, like I said, and I happened to be really good friends with his high school buddies. And so I would go pheasant hunting every year in South Dakota. And so we met on a pheasant hunting trip, and we ended up taking a party bus to Sioux City, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say I didn't quite make it to Sioux City.
Yeah.
Have a big time?
Yeah.
I had a good time for about 35 minutes, and then it was lights out.
Spun cookies?
Yeah.
I wish. I wish.
I know that feeling. Shout out to that one Monday episode. Yeah.
But yeah, we met in South Dakota, and then we both moved to Denver, I want to say a year or two later, and became ski buddies. And then, one thing led to another, and I talked him into working with me.
Sucker.
Okay, so this what an idiot. I can't let him drag you down like that. Right? Your parents, we get told that a lot. But that's not a bad, I guess. What made y'all want to come to Colorado? Was it the startup industry, or that would be, or was it that was the big city for y'all, or was there a cause that brought you to Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, just what brings everyone here, the lifestyle, being able to ski whenever you want to. That it was as base as that.
Yeah, and you were in casserole country, so
yeah. I mean, I lived in 4 of the least fun places in the United States.
Name them.
Okay, North Dakota, South Dakota, Indiana, and Nebraska.
Wow. Holy shit.
I think I got that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, Alabama sucks sometimes, but...
And so did Mississippi, but you, sir.
you checked 4 of the most...
White bread boxes. You were that's the most wonder bread of living I've ever heard. Holy crap.
Well, I had some cousins and friends in other places that taught me how to be
civilized,
kind of cool.
Yeah. You come up. You have some.
Can you say "don't you know"?
Don't you know?
Oh, I feel like you'd have more of that, Fargo, Marge.
If we were over drinks right now, I think I could get it to come out. But
God damn it! Okay, hold on. I
got those water.
I got those vodkas in my office.
So you just migrated growing up through all those 4 places?
Yeah, his family moved around and I got brought along with them. But my family's from North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
And so we, my mom, I come from a broken home, parents divorced. Mom moved to southern Indiana, hung out there for a little while, and then moved back to the Dakotas. But not all the way north this time.
Not all the way north.
So, but met a lot of cool people. I mean, and the Midwest is boring, but good people. It's not a terrible place to grow up in because then it's all gravy after that. Then you can move wherever you want and be around cool people and have fun. But versus some of my friends who've lived here their whole life, they don't appreciate it the way I think newcomers do.
Yeah, and plus it's I don't know.
You can't
I wonder,
appreciate its greatness if you haven't seen like the ebbs of all the, or the flows for ebb or whatever the crests and the valleys.
You're being terrible with like analogies today. Like,
dude, my
fucking
metaphors
awful.
are not.
No, they're
clicking.
awful.
You need a drink.
I'm going to drink this vodka, but if y'all want to hit that pen right there, that works too.
Might need that vodka before I hit the pen.
So
yeah, which one's first?
Okay, so getting in with this kind of like industry type kind of startup business stuff, were you guys both in the industry, or?
I was. So, I've been in the hospitality industry since my first job. I mean, I started out cleaning bars, at 5 a.m. before I went to school. And then I did everything from being a terrible chef to a terrible bouncer to, a bar back and a manager and bartender, the whole 9 yards.
Dude, we're going to be really good friends after this episode. Just going forward, it seems like
I've done it all.
I've
done it all.
And then, so you needed like computer nerd or somebody like.
Yeah, I needed the brains behind it. I had the idea, but I needed someone to kind of bring it all together and actually hold me accountable. I wouldn't say I'm the best at holding myself accountable, but this guy right here can.
That's when we have Zane, the intern. He keeps us in check. Woo! Those shots of vodka made me feel right as rain, Chris. Thank you very much. I'm feeling myself now.
Let's hope so.
So let's talk a little bit about it. So y'all have 2 different operations, one of which is one of the more highly successful, I'd say, food apps in the industry, and that's the On the House app. And it gives discounts for those that don't know. Download the fucking app. Apple, iTunes.
Both.
I don't know what happens to Google people, but what do they do?
Google Play.
Google Play. You can get them, both of them.
Yeah,
and it just grips and rips this town a new one, and you get deals all over the place.
Yep.
That's about the safest way I could say it.
Yeah.
Is it free?
So it's not. So the first 30 days is free to check out, but then afterwards, our users, they pay $9.99 a month, but they get to redeem one free thing every single day, aka On the House. So you could literally go down to Terminal Bar right across the street and get your first cocktail on the house every single day for $10.
Do you have to buy a second one?
No. You do not. So the food section of the app, it is buy one, get one on the house, but other than that, you can go in and get a free drink every single day.
I mean, how can you not be? And so, how did this all come to fruition? We've had folks from local food tours to how she made her kind of relationships and things of that nature, to 8th and Fork and those other ones. How did you build this rapport with these restaurants to have them join the On the House app? Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, we had a bunch of relationships going on with our first company, IndyCard. So we work with a lot of bars and restaurants and a lot of booze companies around the country.
Miles, don't sell yourself short here. I mean, you built those relationships by walking into all those places one by one, and that's your redeeming quality, and that's why we still love you despite your other deficiencies.
Like what?
Able to get a job at Koala.
Yeah, it did take a lot of time of building relations. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, man. But yeah.
You don't completely suck, man. Yeah, so you did work hard, but you fostered these relationships from the early days when you and Chris had the Indy card.
Exactly, from way back when. And so we wanted to be able to create a platform to have everyone feel like they're a regular, whether they're in the hospitality industry or they're not. I'm sure, Chris, when you're an industry guy, you can walk into a venue and be very well taken care of. But
100%.
The everyday consumer, the lawyer, the real estate agent, you name it, they don't get that feeling, right? And so we wanted to create something for them, and we pitched the brands, we pitched the venues, and they all bought in.
Nice. So what are some of the venues around town that people can find?
So there's over 200 in Denver right now, but Terminal Bar right across the street, like I said, all the Tap and Burgers, the El Caminos of the world, the Park Burgers. If you're,
you don't have to run through.
I was going to say, but
it's longer than my Johnson run. It's a big old list.
And that's just for food and drinks. But if you're like you, probably want to go get the joints or the gummies or the THC drinks. Dispensaries like the Green Solution are on board as well.
Yeah, and so for those that are listening, you definitely need to check out our friends Seed and Smith. Now, while they may not be on the app, they are now available in stores galore. So if you are on maybe one of those shops where it's a BOGO deal, if you have the opportunity opportunity to pick up the Dart. It is the High Times Vape Pen of the Year, and they are the sponsor of the year. So shout out to our boys over at Seed & Smith. It's a great segue by you. Way to go, Miles.
You're welcome. Anytime.
You too, Miles, too.
Oh, thanks.
All right.